CamCob, PodCob. Alright, welcome.
Hello.
To the second ever episode of CamCobs, PodCobs. I've gotten better at saying it.
So have I, kind of.
Basically, round two, same shit, different podcast.
We've added a little bit, but nothing that you're going to be like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
These guys are dicks.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
They're probably already thinking that.
But that's alright.
But that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start off,
As usual,
with the Would You Rather. So, this is going to be, if we could have a drum roll. Alright. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is the first ever, what is it? Not guest. Fan Would You Rather.
Contributed.
Yes,
Yeah.
Would You Rather. This comes from the Radio Penguin. Big shout out.
Big shout out to the Radio Penguin.
Alright. Tossing this one over to Cameron. It's directed to him. So, Cameron.
Yes.
The Radio Penguin asks, would you rather be married to me, Jacob, for the rest of your life and consummate that marriage every day? Or would you rather have type 2 sloppy joes?
Jeez. Okay, well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, we should clarify what sloppy joes is.
Oh, God.
Jacob and I have a little thing going where, we came across, we're like, what would be the worst disease or sexual disease you could have that's named off of a food? Like, what's the worst food that sounds like a sexual disease? And so far, nothing has ever been able to beat sloppy joes.
Yeah.
No, that just sounds like the worst disease to have ever.
Especially because it's sexually transmitted.
It's sexually transmitted. I don't even want to know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's definitely some sort of poop related. Oh, man.
Alright, so
Okay,
basically, now that all of you can imagine what sloppy joes is yourself, imagine type 2 sloppy joes.
Type 2 sloppy joes is just like the next level.
The next level of sloppy joes.
You've had sloppy joes for so long that now it's like
grown
oh,
now.
It's infecting other areas. I've got like feet fungus sloppy joes. Anyway, so alright. Or consummate my marriage with you every day.
So I'm gonna be the first one to say, like, if we got married, it would pretty much just be like our normal life.
Okay.
But
I'll accept that, yeah.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, me, Cameron, I'm married.
Yeah, we're not into that.
But
so we both feel like, whatever.
But I mean, like,
it
would just be like we live in the same house and pay the same bills, basically.
Yeah, and have sex every night.
Well, that's the other part, really.
Yeah.
So the being married part, I'm saying, wouldn't be that bad.
This is my outlook on it right now. Either way, I'm not going to be getting girls for the rest of my life.
Well, you can get girls with sloppy joes, but you'd have to.
Can I? I think it's very visible.
Oh,
like I'm
imagining
type 2. Type 2 would be like girls are gonna. I'll be like, hey, want to come back to my place? Drop the pants. Oh.
It speaks Chinese.
It speaks Chinese. Type 2 sloppy joes speaks Chinese. Oh, meow. Can I speak to it?
I don't know. No, I don't.
No,
it wouldn't talk to you.
It doesn't want to talk to me.
It's a hermit state.
Okay, now the question is, how controlling are you gonna be in this marriage? Like, if I have an affair, like, are you gonna if you find out I'm not having an affair, are you gonna freak out in this situation? Like, do we love each other in this?
I don't know. It's a very interesting question the Radio Penguin brought us, because it says you have to be married to me for the rest of your life. Right. So we could never get a divorce.
So potentially some Russian guy, don't know why he has to be Russian, but some Russian guy came up to me, he's like, you must marry this Jacob or I will kill you and your family. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right. And then the same thing happened to you, because I don't think if I propose to you right now, I'm not thinking.
No. Yeah, you're right.
So
we're forced to be wed.
Yeah. So it's just like the situation's not we're like forced to be in love.
No, we're forced to be
wed, and we have to consummate every night.
So is that Russian guy gonna force us, or is it like, or the moon
there's a divine presence,
and we just have to?
Yeah. So like maybe I'm like running away, like flock of seagulls is playing in the background.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like, oh, I gotta wait, but all of a sudden, boom, I'm
you're
teleported and we're banging.
Yeah. I think so. I don't think there's anybody forcing us. I think it just has to happen.
Like it has
all the
to
time.
happen.
But I mean, like we could cheat on each other.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
We would.
We could do that. But I mean,
we're still us. We'd just be like, okay, well this is happening, but let's try not to let it like. We couldn't get married to anyone else, I guess.
No,
that's one thing.
I think I would if I.
Would we
be able to tell when it's gonna happen? Like when we're gonna be forced to do it?
I think so.
And so could we just like roofie each other every time and not have to remember it? Or even
roofie, we're like blacked out and like not being able to move. So then we'd be just like naked, like
the divine whatever it is. I don't know why we're calling it divine.
This is not divine.
But, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna have to go with that one.
Just because
Sloppy Joe's, I don't know what it is.
No.
I don't know enough about it because it doesn't exist. But if it did exist, it would be, I imagine, the most horrid thing.
Not to mention this is type 2.
It's type 2.
What does it go? I think it goes type 1.
Type 1, type 2.
No. Type 1, type 2, stage 3, and then stage 5.
No, I think there's no stage 4, and then it just goes fifth.
Fifth. Yeah. All right. So type 1, type 2,
stage 3, fifth.
All right. Yeah. I can accept that. Jeez.
If you get stage 3, you're lucky. Like, you stay on stage 3, but usually people just skip from stage 2 to 5th.
No, there's no stage 2.
Yes, there is.
Type
2. Shit, sorry.
Anyway, so that was Would You Rather. You're picking the marriage that we have to consummate every night?
This is my reason. We could live in the same house with our respected woman.
Yes.
And we'd have to sit them down at like the most awkward conversation ever. Yeah. Excuse me, dear.
We'd have to hire somebody like Sean Connery.
Yeah, Sean Connery would
just to explain it.
Yeah,
because he would do a much better.
I'm not even gonna attempt.
No, don't do it.
We're not far into the podcast where I'm comfortable enough to attempt Sean Connery's accent.
No, he might hear.
I did a really crappy Russian accent.
That was all right.
Was it? All right. Okay, but anyway, like I could be like, oh hey, my not girlfriend because I'm married, but. You know, Jacob, now I didn't tell you about this, but I'm just gonna drop this right on your face.
That's nasty.
I pictured like a really large woman when I said that. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop this on your face. Rap off.
What?
Yeah, you're really good at, rapping.
I'm going to stop you right there and say I'm not really good at rapping, and anybody listening to this, I do not think I'm any good at rapping.
You're a lot better at rapping than I am. You can come up with rhymes on the spot relatively okay.
Alright.
I can't.
Well, I'm not sure why you want to do this then.
Because, I think it's for the people.
Oh, God.
I'm going to give you a really crappy beat.
What am I rapping about? You have to give me...
Oh, a topic? Well... I think we're trying to. It's like slamming. We're slamming each other down.
Okay, all right.
In other words, you're gonna school me, and then I'm gonna spew shit because I can't do this for crap. Also, I can't beatbox. You can.
No.
Okay, you can more than I can. All right.
Okay. Geez. So we're just slamming each other.
It's a fight.
So what's gonna happen? I'll slam you once, and then I'll start beatboxing, and then you slam me, and then we'll go like 4. So whatever.
We'll go till we realize how crap this is.
All right. Ready?
Okay. Right.
Oh, jeez.
Boom. Boom. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yo. All right. Yo, Cameron. You got a big nose. Looks like I could fit up both my toes. Big toes, big nose. What is this, Jack and the Beanstalk? I'll take all your hoes. I'll put them in a big van, send them to slam off a cliff. I'm gonna make you feel like Biff from Back to the Future. Try to stop me, I'm much cuter. All of the girls want my stuff. Just because I don't like you, you're a sloth. Yo.
Oh yeah. Now Jacob, you think my nose is big? Why don't you take off that fucking wig? Oh my gosh, I just schooled you right back to high school. Oh wait, you're already there. Look at my hair. Everybody does a dance when you're in the trance of the eraser dance. Do the eraser dance. Why are we doing this eraser dance? It doesn't even matter. Why don't you take off your pants? Because everybody is in France. That's a used rhyme. Boo.
I caught your mom. She was naked. She was sitting on my face. It was delicious. Oh.
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I wanted to hit you where it would hurt. But I think I've just...
Oh my god.
I've just hit me where it would hurt. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know, Cameron, I think we should stay away from rap battling.
Alright.
Even though, if I had time, I would school you.
I think I schooled myself.
How so?
What was that dance? The eraser dance? This is a rap-off, and I started going into the eraser... Everyone do the eraser dance?
Yeah, well,
How is that schooling you?
That's showing...
People collectively are dancing against you. That's what I meant. For those of you who don't know, people were collectively dancing against him. That's why
why don't we move on to this new segment that we're going to try to do?
This is something that was suggested to us by our good friend Daniel McDonald. Great guy. He wanted us to do a segment we're going to call Rare Animal Audio.
So what Rare Animal Audio is going to be about, it's basically, what is it? Me and you make up an animal for each other. An
animal that doesn't exist. And then the other person will have to portray what that animal's mating call sounds like.
I think this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah. A quick, fun... That'll be good.
All right, I don't know what else to say.
Do you want to go first?
All right, I'll do the first sound. So you.
Okay, so I'll make. All right. This first animal that I'm making up completely on the spot right now is called a snorn. Snorn.
All right. First thing I need to know about the snorn.
Okay.
What's its country of origin?
The snorn is from southern South Africa.
Okay. So all right.
He's down there.
Yeah.
And he's got some interesting characteristics. He's not much bigger than a big man's fist.
Okay.
And he's got take the ears from an elephant.
Right.
Smack that on it. This round fist. Yeah. Smack those ears on. Big ears that are bigger than his body.
Right, yeah.
Now, he doesn't have a trunk, but he's got an inverted nostrils. They just go into his brain.
Yeah.
And then his eyes kind of stick out and droop down a bit.
All right.
They're just kind of hanging there. Just above his nostril slots.
Okay.
He's got this big chin, no body. The legs just come out of the chin.
Okay.
And they're little... Okay, picture what you'd imagine an ant to have legs as, but they're really big. They're strong enough to support this thing. And because ants are so strong, he can run fast.
Yeah.
And that's the snorn.
All right, so the snorn, when it mates, the special snorn thing, the more prized that the male will be to the female,
right, is
how far he can get his eyeballs into his inverted nostrils.
Right.
And when you do this, you make a very specific sound. And this is the sound right here when you're trying to mate. So this can be heard for miles because the ears act as a sort of like a megaphone, if you would.
Yeah.
It amplifies the sound by coning around their eyeball nose things.
Right.
And so that sound is generated when the eyeball goes in the nose hole, and he snorts in.
I heard that it scares a lot of South Africans when they're trying to sleep in their huts.
It sounds kind of like the ocean, and that can be very scary for Southern Africans.
They don't get the ocean much.
No, and they can't swim.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess my turn.
So this animal is often seen by lumbermen when they're working in the forest, specifically in British Columbia.
Okay, yeah.
It is called the Happy Jack only because its appearance seems very happy because of markings on its back that look like a smiley face.
Okay.
And they just called it a jack because the lumberjacks didn't really know what to name it.
They weren't very imaginative.
No, but a Happy Jack, it gets very excited very easily, and what really gets it excited is when somebody hits a tree with an axe because it sounds like a woodpecker, and woodpecker is the delicacy of the Happy Jack.
Okay, so what does it look like?
It's kind of like a massive weasel. It's huge.
Okay. How big is huge?
Like a station wagon.
Oh my, okay. And like any other distinct characteristics?
They live in trees.
All right. Well, the trees are really big there in British Columbia.
Yeah.
All right. And so it gets excited when the
chopping sound
of
of a
trees.
tree because that sounds like a woodpecker.
So the Happy Jack.
The Happy Jack.
Now we all know that the Happy Jack, when it has its mating, it always wants to mate kind of in between the chops of trees. So can I ask you just to be like do like a clap and I'll, because then the mate will always have food prepared. Is the thing, and that's So whenever you're ready, just do the tree, and I'll do my Happy Jack. All right, so that was the
Oh my god, that was perfect. I didn't know you knew what one was before
I went
this
to
podcast.
British Columbia a few times for a lumberjack exchange.
You must have.
Yeah.
You even got that they make a completely different sound on the second clap.
Well, otherwise they get lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
So that was rare animal audio.
If anybody would like us to do that again, say it in the comments. Also, if you have a would you rather you would like us to do, also leave that in the comments.
Yeah.
And I think we're just going to go straight into topic time.
Topic time, our closing segment. Who went first last week?
I asked you my topic about fashion first last week.
So I'll go first this week.
That seems fair.
Okay. It's a fairly straightforward question. There have been many, strong kingdoms, empires, the United States.
Yeah.
All of these strong kingdoms all throughout time. If you could be the supreme leader of any kingdom of any time, what would you pick and why?
Well, naturally, the first thing that comes to my head is like the Third Reich.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't pick that.
Right.
Because that's not very original.
Okay. Is it not?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't think many people, when asked that question, would pick the Third Reich. Actually.
Well, I'm not going to either. I'm not sure if that's original or not original, but whatever.
Okay.
Geez, that's a really good question. If I could be the leader of any kingdom,
or just anything, I will accept anything. Like if you're like, oh, the Guadalajara, like anything you want.
So I can even pick the South Africans.
Yeah, you could pick the South African Empire.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that was going to be a valid choice, but
do you know the history of the South Africans?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first major South African development happened in 12.
Mm-hmm.
When
AD?
Yeah. 12 AD after Philopoeus, who was a Greek man.
Okay, is this the time that you would want to lead around 12 AD?
No. I'm just giving a brief history
sorry.
of South Africa.
Course.
He took a boat to South Africa thinking it was New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So he named it Zeus, which is Greek for Zealand.
Right.
But people, the natives there, heard it as Zoth. So and of course, in 12, people in Africa knew they were in Africa. So
go on, please.
So this is fact.
Yeah.
So they were south. That's where we are. We're in South Africa.
Right.
But they realized that how south they were because the people in the north called themselves north. So they thought they must be far more south then they must think. So they adapted,
especially those South Africans.
Yeah, so they adapted the name South Africa in 12. Anyway, I wouldn't want to rule in 12 because it was very primal.
Right, they were just coming to terms with who they were.
Yeah,
they were emerging as an individual.
I would want to rule in the 1400s.
Okay,
South Africa, when Christ Mathews was the prime minister.
They have prime ministers in South Africa?
In 1400 they did.
Oh, okay. Right.
When they were still democratic.
Right.
But yeah, Christ Mathews was he worked in the coal mines.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up working in the coal mines, you get very, very,
very strong.
And you know, he used that strength and leadership that he developed in the coal mines, mining coal. He brought that to the parliament when they did their South Africa random prime minister hunt.
Yeah.
And what the random prime minister hunt is, they took the prime minister who was currently the prime minister at the time.
Mm-hmm. Not Matthew.
No, Jingles.
Right.
And they blindfolded him and ran him across South Africa, and he had to run into somebody.
Oh.
The first person he ran straight into became the next prime minister.
And that happened to be
Christ Mathews.
And so you would want to be like just coincidentally walking in front of Christ Mathews at that moment?
I would want to become prime minister in that time instead of Christ Mathews.
Right.
Christ Mathews was a great leader.
He was, but we all know, like, I think that's a really good time to pick, because we all know 100 years later, when Christ Mathews' rule ended, that was when the massive flood came, and, you know, their civilization wasn't the same since. They used to rule the world.
They used to.
From South
so
Africa.
Basically, Jingles he also invented Persia.
Yeah.
And so you know he must be good.
Yeah.
So I would have to go with South Africa.
Okay.
In 1400.
I think that makes complete sense.
Thank you.
All right.
Moving on to my topic now.
Yep.
We'll try to get this through your brain. See if you can understand what I'm saying here.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
If you were a serial killer,
of course.
And I'm not talking oats and grains here. Mind the pun. If you were a serial killer, what would you want your name to be, and what would you want your catchphrase and your trademark to be? What would you leave on the scene? What would your catchphrase be if they made a movie about you later? And what would your name be? What would your serial killer name be?
Okay, my serial killer name, I'm going to start with, would be Aruba, Jamaica.
Nice. That's very good.
Yeah, which would also be the title of the movie.
Okay.
If they made it.
Yeah.
Now, why Aruba, Jamaica, you might ask?
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Because I'm trying to throw the police off. And even though the reporters made this name for me, it was because I kill reporters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the reporters were like, oh man, like, let's go to the scene of the murderer. My God, it's one of our reporters.
And then...
we'll have to write a story on this. And then I come up behind them with a knife.
Yeah.
Which isn't what I usually kill people with. We'll get to that in a second.
All right.
But I come up behind them with a knife and go, the name is Aruba, Jamaica.
Right.
Remember this.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, okay. And then they write the report, and then I kill them.
And then somebody finds the report later on.
Someone finds the report later on. They're like, okay, this reporter must have been right.
Right.
Because why else would he have been killed? He's trying to cover something here.
So why would you pick the name Aruba, Jamaica?
Just because it completely throws the police off. They don't see it coming. They're like, what? Like, oh, he must be ethnic.
Oh, I understand.
But no, I'm pale as the white. Which is
your catchphrase?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I would
catchphrase every time I kill someone. Like, no one else is around to hear this, obviously. But I really like to. I'm in the mood of confusion. Like, I don't kill them right away. So like, what I do is I take a pool cue.
Right.
And I just, like, I push them up against the wall. I tape them to a wall, and then I just ram the pool cue, like, into their stomach.
Okay.
And then they'll be like, ugh, ugh. And then I say, scratch that, poker board. And they go, like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, this makes no sense whatsoever. And they're like, this is the worst way to die ever. Because I leave them like, this isn't a cool guy that's killing them. No. This is, like, the worst way to die ever. Like, this guy's not going to be remembered. Wrong. I'm gonna be remembered. And do you know why, Jacob?
Because your catchphrase is "Scratch that poker boy."
Scratch that poker boy. But no one else hears that. But what I do is I leave something at the scene of the crime.
What do you leave at the scene of the crime?
I leave is a diamond duck. No, I kill a duck, and then I steal a diamond, because I'm a murderer, like, that's no problem for me. So I just nail this diamond into the duck's head, and they go, oh man, it's the diamond duck murderer, but they're wrong. I'm Aruba, Jamaica.
Oh,
it
throws the police off.
They have no idea what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you leave the pool cue at the scene of the crime too? Or
yeah. Well, it like I take the tape off afterwards, and the pool cue like holds the body up into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Scratch that poker boy.
Yeah. So that would be my serial killer.
I like it.
Aruba, Jamaica.
I like it.
Yeah.
Wow. That was very impressive. I did not see Aruba, Jamaica coming for that at all.
You know what? To be honest,
yeah,
neither did I.
Well, that's part of it, isn't it?
That is kind of part of it.
All right, Cameron, I think that's the end of our second podcast here. What do you have any words of anything you'd like to bestow upon our listeners here?
You know, I just want to say thank you to all you people out there for being so supportive, and knowing that we could get through this second podcast. But in all seriousness, yeah, have fun.
Wow. If you don't know how to sign out of a podcast, I don't know who does. Come back for the next one, please.
See you later.